Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to quest number 3 of the Elder difficulty for this month, that is going to be November, and this is probably the hardest one, that is going to be with your skill champions. That the nodes here are going to be skillful distraction, so the skill defenders, whenever they will prevent and evade from the opponent when there is a disorient, incinerate or shock applied. And when that happens, you will gain a fury that will increase your damage by 35% and you can stack it over 10 times. Now remember, there is going to be mix master, so if you're going to use the same basic attack twice in a row, the defender is going to evade that. Now on paper this looks like very simple, but there are not many champions that have direct access to anti-evade abilities. So you don't have many champions that have slow, or if you have slow champions, you don't have many champions that can directly go against anti-evade. But there are champions that have disorient, incinerate or shock, but the problem is that there are quite a few defenders that have purify and shrug off on this path, and that makes those fights really difficult. So having that out of the way, here is my Excel sheet. Those are the champions that I use. I got quite a few trouble in a lot of fights. I'm gonna discuss them and maybe also discuss what are some good options, but to be honest, save your anti-evade or your passive disorient champions for later, because you will need them against all of those purify and shrug off defenders. So here I am taking down a Cosmic Ghost Rider with Silver Sable. Super fun fight because Silver Sable will apply a lot of shock. Even though she is only rank 2, she is doing quite a bit of damage and gaining all of those furies, because you are going to bypass the evade because you have shock applied on the opponent. You can do the same with Incinerate and also Disorient. So some champions that come to my mind are Elsa Bloodstone and also the SP ones of Baron Zemo. All of them work out super well for this path. Now here's an example of a champion that can shrug off or purify debuffs. So if you go ahead and use champions with Incinerate or Shock, you are going to have trouble because he's going to shrug them off, and also he's going to shrug off the stuns. So to deal with the stuns, you can just hold your block and let him throw a heavy, and you can punish that, or just keep pushing him to a special 1 or a special 2. That is an easy punish right after that. I'm using a Falcon here. Now he is, I think, a rank 1, and I have to wait for Red Wing to be ready before I can activate it and lock it on the opponent before I can do the damage and gain those furies. So suffice to say, this was an annoying fight to deal with, but then again I did gain my furies and I was able to take him down quite fast and easily in the end. But this is something that is going to be annoying that you have to deal with across most of the defenders in this quest. Probably skill is the most difficult quest in terms of Elder difficulty in this month. So make sure you do really plan it well. If you want to plan it, there's a link in the description with the Excel planner with Google Sheet. All you need to do is to download it and then create, all you need to do is to make a copy of it, and you can make your own plan on it. Check out the pinned comment, it's going to be there as well. Now here is an example with King Groot. I'm using a Baron Zemo, and he is an annoying fight because he will remove all the debuffs. Now in hindsight, it would have been easier if I just threw my SP1 and applied those disorients. Now he's not going to evade me, and now I can deal my damage. So Baron Zemo is great in that his disorient is going to be passive, and that is going to stop him from shrugging off and also evading. So Baron Zemo is going to be great for this quest. So if you have a 5-star version, a 6-star version, a 7-star version, use all of them because they're going to really deal quite a bit of damage. Now the disorients is up on King Groot. I don't have to worry about his evade and all of those shrug offs. I can easily take him out. Same goes for this next fight. We have a Groot here, and you know that he shrug offs debuffs fast. No, now if he does shrug off the debuffs fast, you are not able to keep the anti-evade on him. So you have to alternate your combos. I'm using an Elsa Bloodstone, but it took me forever to take him down. I think I died one time here as well to Groot. That was so embarrassing, but that's how this is designed. So you have to be careful about the evade, because any shrug off that you apply on him, any debuff that you apply on him, he's going to shrug it off faster, and that's going to be painful to deal with. So make sure that you plan right for this fight and you bring in the right champion. I would say a Baron Zemo or like a Sable Saber. Anybody with a passive Disorient would be better than bringing anybody with Shock or Incinerate. Unless they are passive debuffs, you're in for trouble. So this is one of the fights that you have to take care about. One quick tip against Doctor Strange: do not use a champion that requires Furies to be any good. Now with Nick Fury, you have to play a little slow and alternate your combos until you get to at least 6 of your charges, and you can at least counter the one evade, so you can get one passive Fury. Once you get one passive Fury, your charges are gonna pause, and then you can have a good time there. I did made a mistake here. I took some hits with Doctor Strange, and also I got hit by an SP2, so not really a good fight from me. But once you have those Furies up, you should be good. But then again, all of those Furies can also be, the active Furies can also be removed by Doctor Strange by his counter spell. So make sure that you have those passive Furies so they can stick, and then you don't have to worry about the evade the whole fight. Now, to be honest, I don't even know who would come up with the Sabretooth against all skill champions when you know that he's going to regen a lot and he's going to be crazy even against the debuffs on the opponent. Now, on top of it, I didn't have anybody with Disorient or like a Shock or an Incinerate, so I really had to play this fight medium, light, medium, and then heavy whenever I have the SP2. But the dude really hurts, and it's a really tough placement here. Make sure you have the right champion ready to take him out, otherwise it's going to be a lot of pain with all of his regen against skill champions. He's going to be nuts. So this is one pitfall you have to, this is like the first fight you should plan, and make sure you check out the planner in the comment section or in the description. There will be a link, you can click on that and you can download it and you can make a copy of it, and then you can plan your own. So that will help you, but make sure you have the right counter for Sabretooth ready before you do any of the other paths. And the boss is going to be an Electro. Now he is going to be really annoying because he's going to have Assault Battery and you will not deal any kind of damage to him, but he will store it on the battery. And the only way you can deal that damage to him is when you use a special attack and you knock him down. And with that, those battery charges will explode and deal the damage to Electro. But the trouble is that you don't gain power. The only way you gain power is whenever you whiff an attack. Whiffing an attack means that you just throw a light in the air and that gives you power. Now there's also a node for root or rooted. So every, I think, 20 seconds there's a chance that you or Electro will be rooted. If you're far away from Electro, he will be rooted. If you are near Electro, you will be rooted. So you have to be careful about that. The easy way to do this is let him get rooted while you're away, and then just start whiffing your attacks in the air, and then you can keep gaining power while he is rooted, and then use that power to kind of deal that damage and knock him down, just like this you saw, and boom, he is dead.